Hi and welcome to Triple C Workshop. My name is Chris and I want to show you my setup and testing of how I'm going to create this 8-foot 3-tile double-sided sign. Now, this is the first time I've had to cut anything of this size. So plus, and it's double-sided, so alignment is key. Making sure it's square is key. There's so many factors to mess up, and I'm just trying to avoid that, help you out because I learned a lot. This video will show my kind of 3 setup phases that I did, and you'll see over the course of this short video of what I learned. Hopefully you learned something as well. You're looking at the back side here, lots of letters. I've got to pick a point, at least 2 points, that has clear space with no letters. I'm trying to stay within the letters and not on top of the letters when we're transitioning between tiles. I'm sure it can be done. I know it can be done cleanly, but it just, I think to me, what I found in my testing, it's easier when you do not have anything there. So here's my first test cut. I am using foam. It's the right dimensions, same thickness, or relatively the same thickness. It's very crude setup. My clamps are yeah, this is not going to go well, but it does give me a good idea to where to start from, and that's the key. I just show a quick pick. I cut into my waste board. It probably won't be the last time I cut into it, and I just expected it to cut, and it went straight down and cut a hole. So here's the first run. It's really fun to watch this because it is cutting clean. I'm running at 200% because this foam board is just really the bit is just doing a great job. Clean lines, looks great, very crude on the clamping. I can't ensure that it's square. So yeah, this is a second tile and is running through. I'm going to show you a mistake here in just a minute. Yeah, it is. Can you see the mistake? Right, yeah, it's obvious. The alignment. I learned something on the easel. There's a little selector. So the tiling feature has a 1-inch overlap feature that was turned on. That was my problem. It backed up, so I was not in alignment. My transition points were on top of the letters. I'm sure you can do that. It doesn't work well for me. And my clamping. If you want to keep it square, you have to know exactly where your XY axis is, and if you have that, you have a better chance of making square cut. Okay, this is my original setup. I'm always going to do 3 tiles, at least for this cut. The first tile was at 32, and then the third tile was at 34. Now I got circled there. That was my first mistake. I had the overlap tiles on, and so that left a 1-inch overlap. This is the alignment that it originally was. You can see that it's cutting through some letters, and just made it very, very tough to keep alignment. Now, if I'd had it aligned properly with the overlap, could I have done it a better job? Probably. So for the front side, this is my new setup. I still have 3 tiles. The first tile is at 20 inches, and there's clean, no letters, and then 38. For the middle tile, again, no letters transition between tile 2 and 3. The overlap is turned off. I am going to compensate for that though by moving the board just slightly. So I'll do that with the board and not using the overlap feature. So this is that setup now. You notice that there's pretty good separation. I can move it just a little bit. I have some room. All right, for my test cut number 2, I've improved greatly. I made some jigs and some really good clamps, what I think is really good at least. I'm using some 1x4s. These are 36 inches long. The slots line up with the waste board so I can clamp it down to there. All right, here's another area I need to focus on is the X and Y axis. I'm using holes right now, and that's just not accurate enough. So I'm going to adjust that. You'll see that in just a minute. Also, there's a little gap there. I'm using that pencil just to hold the material down. The wood's not going to flex as much, but there's still too much of a gap. Now, Easel has the tile overlap feature, and I certainly see the value in that. I'm going to control it just by nudging the material about a 1/16 or 30 seconds of an inch to control the transition between the tiles. Now, I already know that I have an alignment problem, so I'm just pointing it out here. This is a long cut, so if it's off, it's going to be noticeable. So I want to make sure it is square. So you can see I'm just off a little bit, but that little bit is going to look very odd when you go 8 feet long. On this third cut, I scored my wasteboard using a 16th inch bit, giving me my exact X and Y axis. That allows me to put the left clamp up against that rail, that little line, and I know now that it's square all the way down. So you can see I've got my board clamped. I'm using these extra clamps on the both left and right. There's a lot of sideways motion here, and I didn't want the machine to press on the material, then press on the clamps to move the material out of alignment. I also put on these little rubber pads under every clamp just to keep the material secure and keep from sliding around. And finally, alignment. Now the first tile you start at 0, 0. The key thing here is once you set your 0 point, X, Y, and Z, you never move X and Y ever again on all the tiles. It has to remain the exact same. Now I'm cutting tiles 2 and 3. You notice there I've got the alignment just a little bit off. Probably a little bit too much in this test cut, but it's okay. I'm going to be cleaning that up later on. As you can see, there's a lot of material sticking out in front of the CNC. I had to grab a camera stand real quick just to hold the material up. The wood will have a lot more weight to it, so I'll have to use a real stand. Now here's the end result of those 3 test cuts. The transitions look really, really good. A little sanding, a little cleanup on the real wood. I think it's going to turn out great. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I certainly learned a lot. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. I'll post some updates real soon of the end result. Take care.